I'm Sarah Gorner. I'd like to take you through a short core workout today where we work in the sagittal plane, which is flexion, extension, and neutral. And I think the most important thing we do when we work our core is we get strong in that neutral position, because when you're sitting and when you're standing, you want to be strong in that neutral position. It's also your, I guess, kind of home base for as you're walking or running, working out, and doing all the activities through your day. You move in and out of that neutral position. You need strength there. You also need strength for when you flex forward and for when you extend back. At its most basic, your core muscles are your abdominals and your back muscles. You can think of it that way. So we're working in the sagittal plane on both of those opposing muscle groups. And I just wanted to mention before we get started that to effectively work the core, you need to have your shoulders and your pelvis in a good position. If you're forward in your shoulders and your head is forward, that's going to affect your core. So you want to be open through your shoulders, stretched here, and you want your head up, spine nice and long through the neck, ears over the shoulders. Then in your pelvis, briefly, I'll tell you, you can be tight in your hip flexors from sitting a lot, and that tightness, I'll exaggerate here. If you're tight here in your hip flexors, when you go to stand up, you're going to arch in your back, so you're not stuck rounded over while you're walking around. So that puts a lot of strain in your low back and puts your abdominals in a lengthened position. On the flip side of that, if your hamstrings are really tight, they can pull your pelvis into a posterior tilt and flex you through the spine and put stress on your low back. So trying to get into that neutral position is key. Neutral at the pelvis, and then shoulders open, nice and long through the spine. So we're going to start with that neutral spine strengthening, and we'll take it down onto the floor. We're going to start by strengthening the core in that neutral position, and we're going to do that in plank. So you can do this plank however you want. You can have your hands up on an elevated surface. You can be on your knees or your toes. For the best ab workout with your plank, I would suggest going down on your elbows with your palms up. But being up on your hands is fine as well. So let's go ahead and start. Get into your preferred plank position. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears. And then tuck your abdominals in without lifting your hips. Okay, so you can adjust and make sure that if you need to drop down to your knees, you can. If you feel low back pain or pressure as you're doing this, go ahead and change your plank so it's easier, because you really want to, you don't want, your back should not be hurting. If your back is hurting, it's because your abdominals need to strengthen. Okay, so we have about 15 more seconds to get our minute-long plank in here. So just make sure you breathe out. Nice deep breath in. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So most people are not thrilled to do planks, but there's such an excellent way to work the spine or to work the core in that neutral position that I'd highly recommend doing them. All right, we're going to continue working on that neutral position, and you can do this in a variety of ways, but I'm going to demo it this way, dropping one foot at a time. Now again, you're trying to maintain that neutral position of the spine. So if you feel like there should be a little gap between your back and the floor, if you're arching up as your foot drops, don't take your foot down as far. You can also press your hands down into the floor for a little bit more stability, or bring them up overhead for more of a challenge, and bring your feet down. You can also do that with extended legs or both legs going down at the same time. But that's the same idea. You're trying to maintain that neutral spine by keeping the core muscles engaged. Let's move into flexion. And we're going to do just standard crunches, okay? Open through the shoulders, hands behind the head, and lift and down. Now I wanted to do these because I think when we do them, we're not, a lot of times it's easy to just let your mind wander and do these mindlessly. So you really want to focus on all the lift is coming from your abdominals. You're not pulling with your hands. Your hands are just there to support your head and your enormous brain, but they're not there to pull. So keep your elbows wide and lift. Breathe out as you come up and tuck that belly button in. So if you move into doing crunches where you're maybe bringing both knees up and crunching in and bringing your elbows in, that's okay. I mean, you're rounding through your shoulders and you need some variety. It's okay to change this up, but really don't worry so much about hunching, rounding through the shoulders as you do about tucking in with the abdominals. Tuck in with the abdominals and bring it down. All right, last thing. Go ahead and flip it over onto your hands and knees. Now I want to mention that you can do this laying flat on the floor, and you can also do it standing. So those are two variations you can do. But you want your spine in a neutral position to start, and then we're moving into extension. So opposite arm and leg out, lift up, and then lift a little higher. So you're going into extension. Bring it down. Lift. Go a little higher and down. So pull your shoulders down away from your ears so you're not hunched up. As you lift, pull your belly button in. Up and down. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one, and down. Okay, go ahead and switch to the other side. Lengthen through the spine, lift and come down. Up, lift and come down. So as you get that lift, belly button in. And this should not hurt your back. If it does, decrease how much you're going up and pull your abdominals in more and see if that helps. Otherwise, don't do something if it hurts, right? 3 more. 2. And last one. And down. Those are just a sampling of ways you can work your core muscles to get strong in this neutral position, flexion, and extension. And you want to work in all of those positions so you have strength throughout that full range of motion. Always make sure that as you're doing that strengthening, you have your shoulders open, your spine long, and your pelvis in a neutral position. If you like this video, you can click like. You can also subscribe to see more videos like this, and I hope to see you again soon.